Welcome to Reinventions in Between, your go-to podcast for real stories of reinvention that happen between life stages, career changes, and living abroad. I'm Sara Kojola, life coach, interculture trainer, and reinventions facilitator, helping people on their quest to what's next. I have reinvented myself a few times, and in the past 16 years, I have collected fascinating stories of change. In each episode, my guests will talk about why and how they took the leap and seized the opportunity to change their life. Let's begin.
Let's say I was not feeling realized, actually. I was not fulfilled. So I was in that place, and then I decided that, okay, maybe I can create my own profession.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I can, so I can design it,
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did it. Actually, when I started, I didn't even know that career coach was a profession.
Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm very excited to be sitting with Fabiana Leal. She agreed to be on this episode, and I'm very happy. Hello, Fabiana. You will see, for those who are joining on YouTube, we'll have the chance to see our funny glasses. We both have very beautiful, colorful glasses.
That's right.
A creative element in our image. Fabiana is a former finance executive who worked for several multinationals. She swapped spreadsheet and numbers to follow her passion in advising highly qualified international professionals on their mid-career growth. That's amazing. I'm so excited when I met her on social media, and that's a new way to meet people. I get very curious. I'm passionate about, and I get very inspired about people, and I try to contact them until they accept to be on the show.
You're good. You're good.
Welcome. I went to check your LinkedIn profile, and I really love the way that you used to introduce yourself on LinkedIn. And you say, mid-career growth designer, helping highly qualified experts land jobs around the globe. So what I really loved about this definition is that we can really design our career and harness our professional journey nowadays.
Yes.
How this role in shaping your own journey has been so far?
Wow, that's a very good starting question. Very deep already.
Yes, I was so inspired.
Great. Love it. I love it. Well, actually, you know what? I've been advising people about their career growth, like since before I even have a career. So this is something that I have. It's mine. This is my talent.
You're
actually.
Natural. One
yes.
Of your talents.
So exactly. So that was. I didn't realize, that I had this talent until more or less 2019. Then I started to investigate a little bit what I wanted to do next. What were going to be my next steps? I mean, career speaking, because I had like something, inside. I was like, okay, I like finance. I really enjoy doing the spreadsheets or whatever. I was a controller, so I was quite good in what I did, but I felt it was not enough, actually. So I decided, okay, I need to do something. And this designer part of my role, my current role, comes from that place. I mean, not feeling, let's say, I was not feeling realized, actually. I was not fulfilled. So I was in that place, and then I decided that, okay, maybe I can create my own profession.
Oh, wow.
Maybe I can, so I can design it,
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I did it. I actually, when I started, I didn't even know that career coach was a profession. I didn't know that, really. If I knew that like years before, probably I would have done some other courses, or I don't know, other paths, but I just didn't know. I just started. I didn't know anything. So just like that old saying is like, when you don't know that something is impossible, you actually do it anyways, right? Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, this is where it comes from, because it's me. I am a career changer myself. So this is not the first time I shifted my career. I started as a civil engineer, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I changed
You're
it
a
to business.
multi-potential,
Yes.
multi-talented.
Then I changed it to business administration. Then I changed it to finance. And then I changed it to consultancy. Like, I consider myself much like a career consultant, much more than a coach, I would say, because I'm more oriented to action. I love the action part, more than others. But this is what I do. I mean, this is my talent. So designing, helping people to think through possibilities. I'm like that second brain, second heart as well. When there is like a confusion going on, and okay, I am on a career break, or I'm in the same company for 10 years. So this is the profiles of my clients. Actually, they are either in a career break or trying to get out of it, or they are basically stagnated. So they're just like, okay, I'm lacking this fulfillment, something, maybe I can do more, or maybe I can change jobs. So this is where I am. I mean, I'm very passionate. I could speak about that by like hours. So
that's great, and exactly perfect, because I have the same passion, and that's why I started this podcast. And I love to hear stories about people who have the courage of reinvent. And most of the time, the main thread is really these passions that are coming out, and also especially we go through ourselves some sort of reinvention or change, career change, but also in life sometimes. And once we experience that process, it automatically become one of our assets, and we want to help others thrive and find their own journey as well. So we are always in service of others, and we want to give all our tools and tips to allow other people to thrive. And I really love, and I think it's our mission, right? I like this era of as a coach, that we can really help others empower and find their own way. And I like how you started describing the difference about consulting and coaching. Because a coach, maybe I try to describe in several episodes, is more helpful when at the beginning, working with a client, it helps finding clarity,
exactly,
working on values, make also a plan about what are the skills and the competencies that they already have. And then it comes the more active consultant role that helps in really setting goals and making those second steps more effective. I had another question for you. Always coming from your profile. And I love the subtitle that you gave, or a definition for your new business name. So it's Claire, right?
Yes, it's Claire. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's talk about that.
Yes. And then it says Career Lab, which I love it, because it's already, there's both experimentation and playfulness in the lab. You try and error are admitted. So failure is always also part of growth. So it says career lab at the fourth industrial revolution. Can you give more details about this?
Oh yes, this is,
I love it,
my preferred topic, actually. Why Claire is called Claire, and what is it all about, right? Okay, so when I started Claire Career Lab at the fourth industrial revolution, I was like experimenting my own career, actually, I was into this experimentation phase. So actually, you were talking about coaching, about career clarity as well, about actions and consultancy, the difference between them. It's like you gave a very good definition, actually. In my case here, I knew that I didn't have the clarity of what I was going to do. I knew that I was really good in writing CVs and optimizing LinkedIn profiles, because I did that like for years for myself and friends. I knew that I was passionate about the topic, the future of work. I tried to combine all of them. I mean, my talents, my passion, and something that could turn up into a business. So I was kind of experimenting where the sweet spot, the intersection would be. So I created Claire first as an altruistic, I cannot say that, project. Yes. Basically saying that I worked for free for several months to gain experience and confidence, because I think I knew already the job. But I was not feeling confident in, let's say, asking people for money for what I was going to try to do, actually, which was basically helping them with career strategies. So this is coming from this place. I mean, Claire is called Claire because of my interest in helping people position themselves, reposition themselves sometimes in a completely changing job market and workplace as well. Then I moved forward. I experimented different niches of people. I tried to serve all of people, Brazilians, Italians, Europeans. I mean, people from all over the world, actually, at first. Then I decided, okay, I really need to focus. And I decided to focus on international women. And it was actually really amazing experience also to work with international ladies, expats, and so on. And then kind of naturally, I'm receiving clients that are expats. This is natural because I am Brazilian and I live in Italy for about 5 years now. I work in English in a country where everybody speaks Italian, so I'm already like different. And people that moved abroad, because you are also an expat, they know that I understand their feelings first. Also, when it comes to insecurities, sometimes a little bit of lack of confidence in job hunting, and many of them, many of my clients, they relocated because of a company. So the company transferred them. So they had this work contract. And now they want to do something different, maybe stay in the same country or maybe go to another country. So this is where I found myself, that I can help more because, I understand a lot about that. And because of the fourth industrial revolution, which is the uprising of new technologies. So we are just seeing it happen right now much faster, of course, because of the pandemic. But this year, 2023, when we are right now speaking, actually, this is the year of artificial intelligence, as you can see, right?
Yes.
And what is it causing? It's causing a lot of changes, especially in the writing industry, for example, advertising industry, and many others anyways. What it means is that more and more people will have to change their careers. So I'm there, I'm there to help you. that are like in this moment, you know that you have to up and reskill yourself to remain employable and to thrive. So you're already doing your own efforts to have more skills, to learn new technologies and so on. But then you have to take all that professional experience, all that work repertoire that you have built like for 20 years maybe, and transform it into something else that can be, let's say, attractive to companies. So this is where I am. I mean, this is my field, people that is like they are doing something, they are already up and reskilling themselves. They're in different countries. So those guys, my people, they're super high qualified. Some of them are even PhDs. So they're not afraid of technology. They're not afraid of up and reskilling, and they want to grow. So I'm helping them, let's say, market themselves better. Because like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when we started, I mean, the job market, when we started our careers, it was kind of automatic, right? You went to university or college, you got a degree, found a job, and then you stayed there like for 20 years.
Yes.
This is not happening anymore. Definitely not happening anymore, right? So people at about my age, so like in their 40s, they're kind of lost, okay, I need to, maybe I have to change, or maybe the department where I work now is going to, like, it's not going to exist in 5-10 years. And here you can also think about people that work for car makers, for example. There won't be combustion motors like in 15 years. So there are several people working for combustion engines or whatever. Those jobs won't exist in 10 years, maybe 5-10 years. So they have to upskill or reskill themselves and do something else. So this is where I am. What is this something else? How can we, let's say, take your strengths, your talents, your experience, and all your competences to go and find a job somewhere else, and like to be attractive to different companies, to different technologies as well, to use all of that.
That's amazing. I'm really blown up. How do you feel about being so trailblazer about this in this sector?
Of being, sorry, I didn't get it.
Trailblazer, so ahead of
Trailblazer.
of
Okay.
Yeah, so
yeah, actually, that's a good one. Actually, this is a good question because sometimes I have to hold myself, a little bit. Because when I started talking about this, I mean, it was 4 years ago. So it was just like that crazy lady saying, oh, the work market is going to change. We have to do something, you have to market yourself now. There is like no guarantee that because you have a PhD, you're going to be employable, right?
Absolutely.
So people are like, what is she telling? They were just worried with their LinkedIn profiles, actually. And I was like 5-10 years ahead. So I had to calm down a little bit.
Okay.
I had to do that because, I mean, I was writing about this stuff that I'm just telling you that is making sense now, 4 years ago. And so not everyone was getting my message. But now I think I'm having like more comprehension of what I'm saying. But even though it's like, I feel that people understand a little bit better what I do. And I'm more comfortable in speaking like about the future of work in this sense. I mean, it's not that crazy lady talking about the fourth industrial revolution. It's like, what's that? It's happening. So we are all feeling, we are all experiencing that. It's not only in laboratories. I mean, in Silicon Valley, it's everywhere, actually. So now I see that I have a lot of visions for the future and so on that I'm just keeping for myself a little bit now. And some of my more, let's say, the most curious clients, that I have. So we actually have a lot of very good talks. But what is coming out, I mean, it has to be thought for this specific moment. So what I see in this specific moment is that if you're there in the same position for at least 5 years, you have to start moving.
Mm-hmm.
And moving is that you have to start building your professional/personal brand. That's the point. Because then it will be easier for you to market yourself. You cannot like just sit down and do nothing, just wait for the recognition that is never coming. Your job may not exist and so on. I don't like to be like, let's say, sounding like a broken record and saying that, oh, the job apocalypse is coming. It's not this is not true. What I want to say is that we can all work, we can all thrive, but sometimes we have to escape the comfort zone. That's the thing. And we don't like that, you know.
we are definitely witnessing the evolution of the way we work, and it is already happening. We were starting to talk about this before starting the recording. But also, if we think about the great resignation phenomenon, I mean, many people, and especially women, and I'm happy about that, were learning how to harness their own potential and deciding when and how to manage the time, because working from home was very difficult, especially those who had a small space, an apartment, and young kids to manage at the same time. Not even the boundaries of an home office. I feel very lucky and privileged but to have this space. But okay, this is another step, because I built my portable career because as expats and moving often, we have to reinvent, right? And find new ways of working in every country. But not everyone is in the same situation. So if we think about women working in the family house with kids running around and having to deliver, this has made them really thinking and working hard on what they want to achieve and what is their potential. I think they were also reconsidering that. And then what you said about profession not being there soon, it is scary for many. Not just accepting and being prepared to, not everyone, and we talk often in every episode about life not being linear, but having turns and change of direction. But so the majority of people are not accepting those change, are fearful about how can they embrace those changes, and especially corporate environment are very difficult to change. And for that small literature that you can find about reinvention, even at the industrial level or corporate environment, they really talk about a time frame of 5 years. So it's happening very fast.
Very fast, yes.
And I like to bring also with these episodes and the people that I have the privilege to interview, bring in and try to normalize the fact that we are constantly learning. We have to upskill, retrain often, and there's nothing to be afraid of. So you also had these opportunity, right?
Absolutely, yes. Think about my background. I have an MBA in finance, like more than 15 years of experience in multinationals, and then I started working on career coaching. I took a master's degree in HR to do that, because I didn't know career coaching was a profession, as I told you. So I didn't know what to do actually. And the only way that I saw I could shift my career was actually through a different study path, which is not right. Just to be like very clear, it's not like the only path. It's a path actually. So I took that one. Why I say it's not the only one, because this one is kind of expensive when it comes to money, expenditure, and also time consuming. Taking a master's degree is like something big. It's not small, right? It's not fast. That's what I wanted to say. I did that. So I did my own plan, development plan. So I thought, okay, maybe I have to enter into this HR world because I know a lot of stuff because of work myself. I mean, as a worker, I have hired many people in my career. I have done many selection processes. I have changed my jobs several times as well as a worker also. So I know a lot of from different perspectives and I'm curious. So I study things very deep. I mean, even CV writing.
So you're not afraid.
Not afraid, actually. So I just threw myself. This is the best time for learning. You really don't need to be there in the university anymore if you don't want or if you don't have the funds to do that. You can absolutely learn from YouTube. You can learn from courses in edtechs in different places. I mean,
resources are really everywhere. It's becoming
everywhere.
our own responsibility and will to
absolutely. So, and when you say that, okay, which skills did you have to learn? I mean, I had to learn marketing because I learned only the theory when I was studying. I was in finance, it was back office, so I was not selling anything. So I had to go there and study marketing. And I can tell you, Sarah, I spent like at least 2 years, the past 2 years, studying and implementing marketing strategies. I had to learn how to make videos. I had to learn how to speak in public. I had to learn about lighting. I mean, So this is all about marketing, about offering. I had to work on my mindset a lot because this job is nice. I mean, I work with global markets, meaning that I can work from people all around the world. And it gives me a lot of, like my image is exposed. So I feel exposed sometimes. I reveal stories that I didn't tell anyone before, like online. I'm just posting there on LinkedIn mostly or Instagram, I reveal my opinions. And this is something, sometimes I get some messages like, why are you saying that or whatever? Not a hater. I don't have haters, actually, never had a problem. But it's something that, I must be mindful on what I'm saying. I mean, public speaking. And when I'm teaching, because I do a lot of teaching, I do a lot of webinars, and I'm also a trainer at some places. I have my own courses as well. So it's like, there's a lot of responsibility that before in my corporate career, it was locked. I mean, me, a bunch of men, usually executives in meeting rooms. This is where I was. I mean, and then I had to get out of that, and go to the world and open up my mind first. Otherwise, I could not send out my message. And even like being a little bit ahead, trying to speak and, hey, people, you have to do something. Otherwise, you're going to be stagnated. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your income. It's going to be like cut at least half in half. And this is happening actually with some people already.
It's incredible, the journey and the growth that you've been through since you were covering different roles and now being independent and exposing yourself with all the teaching. And if you think the impact that you have when you reach out to a bigger community and you chose a very specific niche that you want to cater and help. But I wanted to dig, if I can, you can answer.
Let's see.
No. I wanted to dig a bit. I love the fact that, so you were saying before, you held a big finance role in a company in Curitiba, Brazil. And how is the role of a working woman in that country? What is the mindset? I have a very good friend who is also from Brazil. She's one of my best friends. And she's also a very strong woman. And she is a high achiever. She's traveling. And I was fascinated. And so I wanted to, and I'm in love with Brazil. I told you, behind the scene, that is my dream destination. I'm trying to organize this dream trip next February. But I
Yeah.
wanted to dig more about your cultural background. If it's had
Very
an
good.
impact on your profession, if you are ambitious or...
Okay, that's a very good question. I can answer it by being optimistic, pessimistic, or realistic. You choose, actually. I can share a little bit of my story also, maybe to illustrate a little bit, because I'm Brazilian and I spent most of my life there anyway, and my corporate life also mostly there. I started like as a trainee student in a multinational already. So everything that I'm going to tell here, I would say it's valid for multinationals because this is my habitat.
Sure, of
I
course.
cannot tell you about small and medium businesses, I mean Brazilian businesses, because this is not where I come from. So this is my limited little perspective that I want to say. Brazil is an immense country, so by no means I would generalize that this is like that, absolutely not. Again, I'm coming from a region in Brazil, like Curitiba, as you said, is an industrialized place, not like São Paulo, for example, but it is a very developed city. So again, this is not the standard. It's not the Brazilian standard. So how I see the work market and like the career paths, for women, well, it's on one side tough because of childcare. Of like because of everything, and it's absolutely the same here in Europe. I see that when I speak to my clients. The only difference is that there are some countries here in Europe that have more, let's say, protective laws. So you can take longer maternity leave, paid maternity leave if you need, and so on. Like the Nordics are much ahead of everybody anyway.
Northern Europe,
you know that. So what is the thing in Brazil? We have like, at least when I had my kids and when I was there working, maybe some stuff changed. I really don't know. But my story is that I was in a career progression. So my career was like a growth path, executive path. Then I had my first baby. Then after 2 years, I had the second baby. And when I was there in between, I mean, when I had the first one and decided to have the second one, I felt, Fabiana, I felt like I had to put my career on standby. Why? Because that position that I had demanded working overtime, working weekends because of the financial close, demanded some traveling that I was not willing to make, and I didn't have an option. So I could not choose, okay, maybe I can change department, maybe I can do. That was not an option at that point, or I didn't see that, as an option. What happened was what happens to 75% of women who have kids and work. I was actually made let go when I returned from my second maternity leave. So that I am part of the statistics of the women that lost their jobs just on the first day returning from a maternity leave. It was kind of cruel.
So sad.
Yeah, very sad. But in a sense, I mean, after some years, just like, okay, maybe when we see backwards, it was actually great. Why it was great? Because, of course, I got financial compensation because of that, I mean. And I could have some time to experiment other stuff. So I worked for a fintech.
Oh, wow.
For a unicorn fintech, completely different environment from the industrial in like context that I was working in industry, like very far away from downtown. Then I could start working downtown in the city center. It was completely different experience for me. All in all, I don't want to be here too long, but what I can tell you is that if you're high qualified, if you have the experience, and if you have the guts to ask for what you want, you are going to be successful. But if you're just there waiting, it can happen exactly what happened with me. I got like this resignation letter the first day, and then I had to, okay, what I'm going to do next? I'm lost. because I was not working on my personal/professional brand. So I had to start from zero, actually, It took me some time to find a job, like 3 months, more or less. And then it was easier, let's say, to find other jobs and so on. So for women, it's about the same everywhere, I think, especially for us that are around our 30s, like I was at that point, and you just got married and you want to have kids, your own kids, So employers know that when they're hiring, they know the journey also. So there is like this bias against women at that age, and this is
Of
happening in
course.
Brazil. I know a lot. It happened to me. Okay. And here as well. I mean, I see that happening. I don't like to focus on the negativity of that, because I always work with clients to revert and to neutralize all of this stuff. Because now, for example, we are at, like, I am at my 40s here anyway, my clients also. What I say is that now we have to use that. Our kids are grown up now. It's like they're more independent.
No longer babies. Yes.
No babies. Like, yeah, they have fathers sometimes, or partners, or you have a support network. You're already like arranged in this sense. You're not like a new mom anymore. So you know some stuff. You know how to be productive. You know how to to get things done. That's the point. So this is what we're selling. Actually, I don't know, I think I doubled my productivity after I became a mom. I'm not kidding. Because I wanted to get out of the office. So I was working very hard and very fast, actually.
But I definitely, it's one of my strongest beliefs, and I think corporate environment is still very not understanding, not getting in how organized women and how capable are women to understand the different situation and how to juggle both personal and professional life. And also you can reflect these in a professional working environment. We are able to juggle different situations, and we are always capable of understanding, and we have empathy, so we know where to put the different people in different roles, organize, time shift, but it's the problem of a male dominance most of the time, not getting in, which will be painful in the long term, I think, because in the end, they will not get it. It will be just a male team not delivering to clients that are no longer the clients, ideal clients, and young people or young female, or like, for example, I was listening to a very interesting podcast about marketing, as you said before, and there was a lady complaining about the fact that most of the advertising were not considering a target of women from 40 to 50s, which are the most strong client with paying possibilities, aware about their social status, about their values, or the time that they need to organize the staff. So a very strong client that they completely missed, but that probably will take just 1 or 2 generation to completely flip and change.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with you. Yeah.
But it's so fascinating. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing with us all these information. And it was very insightful. And I bet everyone who is listening will be inspired and will be very curious to discover more about what you how can you support them, and what's your job. I will have all the information in the show notes, but you can find Fabiana at Claire on LinkedIn, and you will have the link. I would like to ask you just a few more tips to close this episode, rich in insights. if you were to give a tip to someone who is about to change career or reinvent completely, what would be your tip? Number one.
That's good. Yeah. Number one is working on your clarity. This is the first step. I mean, as I told you before, I am a strategist. So I love strategizing and implementing actions. But everything, even strategic work, starts with goals. So something very actionable that you can do right now is actually knowing your strengths. And asking around, getting feedback from people close to you, it's a very rich source for you to understand a little bit more on what you're good about. We have to start thinking our careers defined by our values and about our strengths. Our professions should not be like equals, should not equal our identity. That's the thing. And up to now, there is a confusion going on. Like, okay, for example, I am a career coach. No, I'm Fabiana, actually. This is what I'm doing. In 10 years, I can be doing something else, actually. Okay. So I think this is a good exercise to detach your identity from your chosen profession and to start working on finding out what your strengths are, what your talents are. Why people like what you do. I mean, what would they say? I mean, when you were successful at some deliveries, I would investigate that and then do some other exercises like I did, to find, okay, this is my talent. This is where I can help people, and this is like a possible market. So you have to find out the intersections. There are several tools for doing that anyway. But I would start with clarity.
I love it. Less labels, less job titles, but more creativity and more opportunity in growth.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love it. Thank you. And
you're welcome.
One last question. What would you like to say to your young self when you started this last reinvention or last career change?
Yeah, that's a good
because
question.
you also move country, so you change also your country.
Yeah, I would say that be patient. Be patient and enjoy the journey. You're not getting instant gratification for everything that you're doing now. So be patient.
Oh, that's beautiful. Every guest that I get, they're always saying that they are so rushing towards their goal because they have this fuel that is their passion. And sometimes they lack of patience because they need a step after the other to create the job or the career that they want to create.
It's a journey. Yeah, it's not like, okay, in 2 months I'm going to have all set. I'll be all set and ready for success. It's not like that. It's actually a work in progress, several years.
Work in progress. I love the fact that you say to enjoy the process is so important, and especially it needs to be fulfilling after we turn 40. I think we value different things, and we are not just doing things for the sake of doing them, but we want to
absolutely
have a different impact on our own life and the people we work with. And we also want to be a better role model for our children. So I think it's definitely
everything shifts.
Everything shifts. Thank you so much, Fabiana. It was a great interview. I love this episode. Everyone who is listening, you can find Fabiana at Career Lab for ir.com, but we will find out the link in the show notes. And thank you. I hope to hear from you soon, Fabiana.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for having me. It was my pleasure. And yes, you guys can find me there on my website or also LinkedIn. Just look for Fabiana Leal.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Now I want to hear from you. What's your number one takeaway from my conversation with my guest? We would love to hear your comments. You'll find all the links in the show notes. If you're curious about reinvention, go download my free guide, Your First Steps. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll never miss the opportunity to spark curiosity and get inspired on how you can navigate change in your own life.